Hey everybody, it's Zach from Vanlife Outfitters. I'm sitting in a customer's transit van, and I just wanted to show a power system that we installed in here. This particular system is using batteries that have an external BMS, and we have a blog post that shows an example power system or electrical system using all of these components using an external BMS. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in power systems, check out that blog post, which we will link in the description. But let's take a quick tour of this system. Okay, here we are. Check it out. That's a lot of cool looking blue boxes and flashy lights. So the customer brought us this van with some basic cabinetry installed so that we could put all the electrical components on this space, which is the passenger rear wheel well. I should also mention in that blog post, for every blog post that we have, each one of them has a corresponding, what we call discounted bundle, where we take a bunch of these blue boxes from Victron Energy that which you would use in your power system, and we bundle them together and give you a discount. So those are pretty cool. So we actually have about 3 different example power systems at this time. This particular one is the external BMS power system or example system. So we'll start by taking a look at the actual batteries. These are Victron Smart Batteries. Like I said, they use an external BMS. A bunch of advantages to have an external BMS, which we detail in our blog post, of one of which that you can see right here in this image is they're really energy dense. These are about the same size as something like a Battleborn 100 amp hour battery, but each one of these batteries is actually 200 amp hours of capacity. And they're tied together with these cables, and then they connect up to this. This is actually the external BMS that we're using in this system. It's the Lynx Smart BMS, and it's a combination of a battery management system, BMS, that's talking to the batteries. It also has a shunt, so it operates as a battery monitor, so you don't need something like the BMV712. You can use this. The last thing that kind of is interesting about this thing is it has a built-in contactor. So if the batteries tell the system, hey, stop discharging or stop charging, it can actually, there's like a big, basically battery switch built in here that can turn off. And it's part of the so-called Lynx system, where you might have a Lynx power in here. We're not using that component. We do have the Lynx Smart BMS, and then the very popular Lynx distributor, where all of our loads and chargers are connected with built-in fusing. So that Lynx distributor, kind of a combination of a bus bar plus built-in circuit protection. Here we have the Multiplus 12 3120. A lot of people call this a 3000 watt inverter. It's not quite, but it's a beast of an inverter charger. This system actually has 3 charging modes, which is fairly typical for a camper van. If you're connected to utility or shore power, this inverter charger will go into charging mode and charge up your batteries. In addition to that, this vehicle is using 2 Orion DC to DC chargers. So these things are connected up through these little fuse boxes to the van's battery. And when the van is running, these will charge those batteries. And then, of course, good old solar. Over here, we're actually using 2 different solar charge controllers because there's an array of panels on the front of the van and a different array on the back of the van, both connected to different, distinct MPPT controllers. And then we have this piece of magic, the Servo GX. And this is kind of like a really awesome monitoring solution where all of the things that are smart in this system are connected up to the Servo GX. So all these blue boxes, the 2 solar charge controllers through VE Direct, we've got the Multiplus inverter charger connected through VE Bus, we have the BMS connected through VE CAN, so all those devices are talking to this thing, the Servo GX. In addition to that, we have like kind of an analog temperature sensor so that the customer understands or knows, can monitor what the temperature of this box is. These devices tend to get pretty hot, so there's cooling fans on the side of this box. Also connected to the Servo GX is this neat little thing. This is called a Ruby tag, and the Ruby tag connects through Bluetooth to the Serbo GX, and it's a sensor for temperature, humidity, air pressure, and motion. And it just has a little battery in there, so you can put these all over the place. You could have one inside your van, maybe one outside your van. Some people put them in their refrigerator, so you can get kind of temperature through an analog sensor. You can get all kinds of information from these RUVI tags, and all that information goes to this cool little thing, which is the GX Touch. This is called the GX Touch 50, and it's got a bunch of cool little screens. We're going to make another video about the Serbo GX with the touch screen, but you can see lots of cool little displays, and you're seeing everything on here in your system. So you're seeing like what the solar's doing, what's coming from your batteries, what the multi-plus might be doing. If you go into like the menu, you can see all those sensors we were talking about. So I could say, what's up with the RUVI tag? Oh, it's 32 degrees Celsius in here. Yeah, it's Florida, man. So that's all super cool. We love the Serbo system for monitoring. You can even add like tank monitoring for like a freshwater tank or a gray water tank. This customer also connected up this GPS unit through USB to their Serbo GX. And that's kind of cool because this obviously tells the Serbo where in the world the van is. And there's a cloud-based system where all the data that you see here on the screen also gets pushed up to the cloud. And that is called VRM. It is free from Victron Energy. And you can do things like take the information from this GPS sensor, I suppose you might call it. And if your van, and you could do geofencing, which means that if your van moves outside of the area where it's supposed to be, you can get some kind of a notification that says, hey man, your van is moving, or it's stolen or something. So that's pretty cool stuff. Overall, we're super happy with this system. It's quite a beast, and it's ready to roll. It's ready to power this Mabru 12-volt air conditioner we have in here. And it's got plenty of ways to recharge these batteries.